Hi students, today's activity is going to be Excel Module 2 and it's the textbook project. I'm going to go ahead and click on the Start file. I'm going to enable editing. I'm going to go ahead and save it, but before I save it, I'm going to go back to MindTap. I'm going to copy and paste the expected file name because it's different than what it gives us in the book instructions. I'm going to save this on my desktop just because I've already done it and placed it in my OneDrive folder. But you can put yours in your OneDrive folder. So now I'm going to save it in the correct name. All right, the first thing we're going to do is create what they call, or what Excel calls, a complex formula. This is one that uses more than one arithmetic operator. So first, let's go to do an easier one. And we are going to highlight B4 to B11. Notice that you have this quick analysis tool that appears. Actually, I want to highlight B4 to B11. I'm going to click on that quick analysis and notice that it assumes that you want to do something with this text. I'm going to go to totals and I'm going to go ahead and do the sum. And there's my sum for me. I'm going to drag this through the fill handle to E12. Okay. And now that one's done. Let's go ahead and click on cell B14. Notice this is a 20% rise, so here's our complex formula. I'm going to start with the equal sign. I'm going to click on B12, the total, and then I'm going to use the asterisk or the plus sign. So I'm going to add that with B12 again, and with a multiplying asterisk by 0.2, so 20% rise. I'm going to press enter. And then from there, I'm going to fill handle through to Q4. Next, we're going to insert some more functions. So let's go ahead and click on cell B15. Notice this says average. You can do this in a couple different ways. So first I'm going to show you inserting a function up here. If you're looking for a function, you can type it and press go and it's going to find everything that you possibly will want. I want the average. It's going to tell me what I need for it. I'm going to drag that over and I want the average for B4 to B11. Notice it goes ahead and takes care of it for me. It actually tells me what the average is going to be, and I'm going to say OK. So that's one way of doing it. Again, I'm going to fill handle through to E15. Now for the max, I'm going to go ahead and click over here where we normally, under the pre-functions that Excel has. It assumes that I want these two cells, but that's not correct, so I need to go back through and drag B4 through B11. And I'm going to go ahead and do min as well. I like to also notice that you can do equals min, and you can type it here. So here's another way that you can do it, and it's asking for the numbers. Again, B4 to B11. So there's three different ways that you could really find that up at the top of the home ribbon, the function, or even typing it after the equal sign. Did you know that you can highlight more than one cell and fill handle? And so we're going to fill handle through and it automatically does that for us. Let's go ahead and, let's see, did I do min? Oh, now we're going to do absolute. Oh, nope. Sorry. I'm a little lost here. Let's go to cells B3 to E3. I'm going to press copy and I'm going to open my clipboard. So notice that it has it over here and it's copied. I'm actually going to go down to B19, and you can press Control V, or you can paste up here on your clipboard features. Notice that when I press Control V, that it continues to be in my clipboard. If I would have cut it instead of copy, it would no longer be on the clipboard. I'm going to go ahead and press not backspace but delete just to show you that it's there. I'm going to select on B20 this time, and now I'm going to press Control V and put it in the right spot. Or no, I'm not going to press Control V. I'm going to come up here and click on the clipboard. I'm sorry. So there it is. I'm now going to select cell A14. I'm going to press Control and notice what my cursor looks like. It's got the mouse with the plus sign. This is a way of just copying one cell to the right spot, and then I'm going to unselect and stop holding the mouse, the Control key and the mouse, and it copied it. Now you can really press Control C, Control V, and it works too, but notice that I just pressed, I select the cell, I hold down Control, and I go find that mouse and drag it to the location that I want it. With this 20%, I'm going to go up and actually make it a 30% rise. Let's go ahead and actually do the formula. So with cell B21 selected, I'm going to do equal sign. I'm going to just type B21 because it's easier, or B12 because I need that total, plus sign. I'm going to type B12, and notice this time I did a lowercase. It still knows what cell. Multiply it by 1.3 because that will do the full plus the 30%. Check mark. Looks like I did that wrong. Let me make sure I did it. Oh, I see what I did. It just wants us, let's go change that. So if we do this, we need to do, let's go ahead and just do B12 multiply 1.3. There we go. B12 multiply 1.3, and we've got it. Sorry about that. Let's go and do absolute and relative cells. So typically when you're copying and moving a cell, you want to reuse a formula you've already created. And copying cells is usually faster than when typing the formulas. And it helps you prevent any errors. So if your cells you are copying contain relative cells, you want to maintain the relative referencing, but you don't need to make any changes to the cells before copying. That's typically what we want it to do, and this is the default for Excel. So let's just practice doing that. So up here in the totals, let's go ahead and do a sum. We want to sum all of Australia. So that's correct. And then I'm just going to fill handle all the way through here, the USA. This is an example of the relative reference. Now, when I go on, let's do an example of an absolute reference. So when you copy cells, you might want one or more cell references in the formula to remain unchanged. In this instance, we need to apply what's known as absolute cell reference before copying. And in this case, we need to use the $sign to help us. So Excel will know how to help us. So the first thing we need to do is type on G1 the word change. Press enter, and we're going to type 1.1. We're now going to go to H3, and we're going to type what if. At this point, let's go ahead and make a formula. And let's make that formula with an equal sign F4 times G2. So in this case, we want G2 to stay the same. If we were to drag through, notice that all these cells are 0 because it keeps going on to G4, G5, G6. It just assumes that you want to not keep that absolute. And so let's go ahead and highlight these and delete them and do it correctly. So in this case, I'm going to go up to the function bar and I'm going to type, or for shortcut, I'm going to type F4. F4 is going to automatically put our $signs and it's going to keep that cell absolute. With that cell absolute, when we drag through to USA, it goes ahead and keeps that information. This also helps because what if we want to change the percentage to 1.2? All of our cells change. So that's just an example of the difference between relative and absolute. Couple more things. Let's go down to B14 and let's say that we want to round this value. The more you explore the tools in Excel, you'll find a lot of different ways to simplify your work and convey information a little bit more efficiently. So for this, let's go ahead in front of, or right after the equal sign, let's say we want to round these numbers. I'm going to start typing the word round, and I find that there's already a function available for round. I'm going to double click on that, and it tells me the information I need. I need the numbers, and I need what number digit that we want to actually round to. So at the end of this number, I need to add a comma and a 0 because I want this information to be rounded to the whole number. I'm going to press enter and notice it rounded that formula number, the total, to a full number or a whole number. And I'm going to go ahead and drag through. I'm going to go to cell A25. I'm going to type my name. I'm going to press save. I'm going to close out the clipboard, and we should be done at this point. Last thing it looks like I forgot to do is the fill handle for quarter 1, 2, 3, and 4. So now I'm going to press save again. I'm going to go back into MindTap. I'm going to go ahead and upload my assignment. And we're good. Remember, this is Excel 2 textbook. Thanks.